Two.
Good evening, fight fans. We have a very special show today. We have an important fight night coming up October 15th at the Caribe Royale in Orlando. And we have with us online right now Amori Piedra and Eric Enrique from Boxlab Promotions. You've seen these guys at the fights, you know who they are. They're going to talk about this important event and others that we have coming up. So, gentlemen, how are you doing this evening? Amori, let's start with you.
Everything's good. Everything's good here in Orlando. Beautiful weather, and we're very thankful the hurricane didn't affect us. But thinking of all those people that it did in Florida, but things are going great.
Excellent, excellent. And can you tell us briefly, just comment on the success that you've had as a host for combat sports events, not just boxing, but also MMA at your hotel? It's
Sure, one of the things we wanted to do with the Royale a couple of years ago when I arrived was to get the local community into the hotel as well. So we started hosting some boxing shows and ended up doing a couple of show box shows and a couple of other local shows before we started doing our own. And then we actually worked with one of the local MMA promoters, and he's done about 3 or 4 shows here as well. So everything has been very well attended, and like I said, we probably did 4 or 5 boxing shows before we went off on our own and started doing our own stuff, both on Bally's TV network and now Fight TV. We're gonna alternate between both. So yeah, it's been exciting and it's good. Gets the community out. There's always a buzz around the hotel during fight week, and it's great events.
Yeah. Speaking of the hotel, uh, the Fighting News show tonight is brought to you by the Caribe Royale in Orlando. I was looking on the website. I saw a lot of great deals. You offer Florida resident discount, teachers rate for all those teachers. Thank you so much. A military rate
Yep.
for all those military people. Thank you for your service. And also a AAA rate. And now's the time. You got a super fall special package for discounted rates till December 15th.
Yeah,
So
it's a great time to come visit.
great time to come visit Orlando for sure. So without further ado, we want to talk about your event
All
on the
right.
15th.
So, October 15th, Boxlab Promotions has a card here in Orlando. It's really a great card. I mean, we think it's one of the best of the year in Orlando. We've got a great mix of the top local fighters, along with some international and national talent that's going to be here as well. So we've got anything from the top local fighters like Derrick Diesel Jackson, Adrian Pinero, both of them going for their 10th win to make themselves 10-0. Both are exciting, action-packed fighters. Derrick's been training down with Herman Caicedo and sparring the best in South Florida. So we're really excited to get to see him in the ring again. It's definitely all action when he gets in the ring. We've got Giovanni Estela, a local favorite. He's also going for his 10th win. And we've got Sean Mason, who just got his 10th win on a card up in Atlantic City on the Showbox undercard. So he's now going for his 11th win. Actually, Derrick's little brother, who's not so little, but it's the little brother in age, Darius Hawk Jackson. He's one of the local favorites. He'll be on there, along with our other two 18-year-olds, Elijah Flores, who's coming in from California, going for his 4th win, and Jamar Pemberton going for his 2nd. So it's a great mix of those are the locals, and then we've got a great mix of international talent. Kevin Brown, 1-0, fighting for a title already. Jose Resendiz, our Mexican fighter, who's getting back into the ring at 12-1. We've got Damian Lacalle, another Cuban fighter, making his debut. And so we're excited about the card overall.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of action-packed fighters coming down. So you're saying this guy had about 400 amateur fights?
Kevin's a special talent. I don't know if you're familiar with the name David Morrell, but David, in his 4th fight, Cuban guy, he was on the national team at the same time as Kevin. he came to the U.S. and by his fourth fight, he was in a title fight already, and he won the title. So David's now 7-0. He's part of the group that we're partnering with on Kevin, our co-promotional partner, Warriors Boxing from down in Miami. So Louis de Cuba Sr., myself, the rest of the team, we're all working together. And, David's 7-0, and I think he's had 3 title defenses already. Well, Kevin's cut along the same cloth, He's won gold 3 times internationally, and, he's just a special talent. So it's, he's not your typical 1-0, just like he debuted against a 34-11. You don't see too many debuts against the 34-11. Now he's fighting a 12-4 for a Fede Centro title, and we expect some big things from him. Might even be a title eliminator by the end of the year.
Wow. And we have Derrick waiting in the background. Tell me a little bit about Derrick.
Derrick Diesel Jackson. So Derrick's a special talent too. He had a great amateur career. Came in second in the nationals to a name that many of you know, Xander Zayas. He had a split decision loss to Xander Zayas in the finals of the nationals. That could be disputed. That could go either way. Who knows? Wow. It's a fight to make in the future to get the rematch. So hopefully Xander and Top Rank are listening. But Derrick's a great talent, and we wanted to make sure that he maximized himself. So he's been down training with Herman Caicedo in Miami. Herman from Luis King Kong Ortiz, Carlos Payano, and some of the others. So he's been getting great sparring down there. All reports have been that he's been doing really, really well, and we're looking forward to him continuing his growth as a professional. So he's going for his 10th win, and he's getting a little. Each one of the opponents getting a little bit harder. So he's fighting an Argentinian called Damian Bonelli. I don't know. Damian Bonelli fought Yamaguchi Falcao went the distance with Yamaguchi Falcao in a very tough fight. I think it was back in March for an NABA belt. So he's 24-11. He's a veteran. He's 20 KOs. Derrick's 9-0, and he's going up against him. And we feel good about it. Derrick's ready to go, and this begins his rise.
Is this the Argentinian that knocked out Derrick Cuevas on Revolta's
Yes, it is.
card?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Let's bring him on.
So Derrick's been. Frankly, he's been going through his opposition. So time to start, upping the level a little bit. So we're excited. I think this will be one of the better fights of the night in an 8-round co-main event.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I've met him, and he comes to fight. He's not coming all the way from Argentina to lay down. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be one of the better ones. We tried to make that fight a couple of cards ago, and we just couldn't get it done because of some immigration issues. But now we're moving forward, and it'll be interesting. It'll be
absolutely, good. Absolutely. And we're looking forward to seeing more of Kevin Brown. His fight didn't last too long last time.
It didn't. And, he's in Las Vegas. He's been training with Bob Santos out in Las Vegas, and he's been doing very, very well. I mean, I'll be seeing him this week. Actually, I'm going to go to Las Vegas toward the end of the week, and I'll be seeing him out there. But, he's been sparring nothing but the best. And, let's just say he hasn't lost a round of sparring. So, he's a special talent. He's 28 years old, got a lot of experience, great ring generalship, great ring presence. And we're looking forward to making him the next Cuban world champion.
Absolutely. So we have Eric. Is there anything you'd like to add about the show?
No, I mean, discussing Diesel and Bonelli, I think it's going to be one of the fights of the night. Diesel is a very aggressive fighter, and he likes to press forward, and so does Bonelli. So it's gonna be a very interesting fight between both of them. Derrick's a very explosive fighter as well, very quick and very fast. But Bonelli's is a veteran. He can be sneaky and crafty in the ring. So it's going to be a good challenge for Diesel. But I foresee Diesel taking him out in the later rounds.
Okay, and I saw Pinheiro just signed with a promoter too, didn't he today?
Pinheiro signed with ourselves and GH3 Promotions, our partner and friend Vito Malnecki. So we got good plans for Adrian. You know, he's been fighting locally, and we're going to get him on this card again to get him his 10th win. Again, he's going up against a very durable veteran in Lamont Capers, who's 11-17. But you know, this will be a good fight. This will be his first Adrian's first 6 rounder. So you know, time to get out of those 4s and get into the 6s, and then keep moving him forward into the 8s. But we're excited about him. I mean, he's got great potential. He's got great power. And yeah, he's one of the fan favorites. So we're looking forward to having him on the card and continue to move him forward.
Right. So it definitely seems like a lot of these guys are going to be moving up to higher level shows in the near future. I mean, they're all on that cusp right now.
Well, that's kind of the plan. You know, it's you know, like I say, you know, our partners and our co-promoter partners, both GH3 with some of the fighters and Warriors Boxing with some others. You know, we're going to grow them, and then you know, probably in the very near future, you'll see them in larger venues. Sean just had a chance to go up to Atlantic City, Sean Mason, and fight on a Showbox undercard. He did well. Took out an 11-0 opponent, put him down once. 11-0 opponent came in heavy, but Sean manned up, took the fight, and you know, won a unanimous decision. Some of these guys like him and Derrick and Antonio Vargas is another one, a local former U.S. Olympian, local bantamweight 118, who's 14-1 now, if I remember correctly. Same thing with him. Same thing with Kevin. Jose Resendiz, who's called El Toro. He'll be back on PBC shortly as well. So, you know, we've got a good blend. I think we've got a good mix of some of these fighters that are on the cusp of getting on the larger shows and getting with those big promotions and moving on to that. And then we've got a great mix of the people just starting out. You know, we have, like I said, we have 3 18-year-olds that have just distinguished amateur careers and crazy talent that we're excited about to balance out those 10-0, you know, 11-0s that are moving up. So, and then we've got some in between too. So it's exciting, you know, and that's the whole thing. Grow them, and you know, then we move on to the next. You know, as they grow, we move on to the next phase.
Right, and you just added another popular fighter down here, Lorenzo Medina.
Yeah, Lorenzo's a great kid. You know, it's funny. When I used to go do my boxing training and get my exercise in the same gym as him. So, you know, I've seen him. I guess I've known him since he was like probably 14 years old at this point. So he's a great young man. He's promoted by one of our friends, Ryan Rickey in Tampa, and Ryan called and really wanted to get him on the card, and that happens to be his 18th birthday. So he'll be fighting on his 18th birthday, and we're really looking forward to it. He's, like I say, he's a great young man, comes from a great family, so we look forward to having him on the card as well.
Right, and he was also a top amateur. He was ranked number 1 at super heavyweight.
Yep. Like I say, he's a great young man too.
Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing him on the card. His first couple of fights were out of town, so I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, we got it's a great mix of talent. A lot of youngsters just coming up. We got some great Puerto Rican fighters that are on there, like Giovanni Estela, Puerto Rican American, Antonio Vargas, same thing. Elijah Flores, same thing. You know, we've got Jamar Pemberton, who won the Nationals twice, and then the silver. He won the gold at the Nationals twice, and then the silver once. So he's in for his second bout. So we're excited overall. I think this is one of the better cards in Orlando for the whole year.
Absolutely. And anyone who's watching out there, it's going to be streaming on which service?
This one's going to be on Fight TV.
Fight TV. Yep. So boxing fans out there, all of these names are familiar to South Florida boxing fans, Giovanni Estrella and Vargas and all of them. So if you're a boxing fan, you're not able to make it to the show live, definitely watch it on Fight TV. It's going to be a good one, and these guys are going places.
Yeah, we're really trying to make, you know, Caribe Royale, the hotel, the hub of boxing in Central Florida. And we really encourage the people that are in the area to come out, you know, and support their local talent. I mean, a lot of people see what happens on fight night, but they don't know the work that these guys put in behind the scenes. And they don't see the sacrifices that they make to make weight, the daily grind of the running, of the sparring, of the training. And there's a lot of work that goes into getting to that fight night. So hopefully people will turn out. You know, it's ticket sales have been rising by the day. So that's encouraging, and people turn out to see, what are going to be some of the stars of the future. I mean, the reality is, you'll be seeing some of these guys on TV shortly, and you'll be saying, "Hey, that was there. I remember him from the card at Caribe Royale," and they'll be on TV shortly. It's exciting.
Right.
So
And speaking
without
of,
further ado, we have Derrick Diesel Jackson, 9-0, 5 KOs. Let's bring him in. Also, we have Mike Feinberg with the Fighting News. What's up, Mike?
Hey,
oh,
Mike.
Steve's gone. Okay. Derrick, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. It's good to see you.
It's
What
good
have
to
you
see
been
you
up
too.
to since we saw you about, what was it, a month ago in your last fight?
Just straight training. I go home gym. That's all I really know. I've been working in Miami with Herman, and we've been putting in that work and working on for this fight.
Okay. What do you know about your opponent?
Damian Vinoli. I've watched him a lot, and as Amari said, we planned it a couple of shows ago, and so I've just been studying him ever since then. And so yeah, it's been about like 3 months since I've seen him, and plus I was actually at the show where he fought Yamaguchi, and so I've been seeing him since then, and so I'm very excited about this fight, and I'm looking forward to it.
And he saw your last performance as well because he was in the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how do you
So
see that?
they're no strangers to each other.
No. So how do you see that fight going? You're dealing with someone who's experienced, someone who's got strength, someone who's got power. What's your game plan?
I'm gonna go in there and work on whatever me and Herman worked on, and our game plan is, I plan on outboxing him because I have the amateur career. I feel like I'm a far better boxer, and with me, I'm Diesel. I got the power to punch, and so with my boxing and punching, I just I mix two together, goes well.
Absolutely. We saw that power on display last time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you fight again. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to? Any sponsors?
No. So far, just Boxlab Promotions is doing a great job with me, and yeah, that's all I really have to do is call out. But I fight for my city and my family. I just got to represent.
Okay, and something I didn't know about you that Amori brought up was that you had faced Xander Zayas in the amateurs in the nationals. Tell us about that.
It was in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I believe it's 2019. Yes, 2019. I was 17, and it was a pretty good matchup. It's very. Some people feel like I got cheated out of a win, or very controversial. But yeah, I'm looking forward to if we line up in the future. I'm looking forward to that, and yeah, just really like it.
Would you like to face him again one day?
Yeah, of course, big time. I like competition. I don't run from it.
Excellent.
It's funny because sometimes you have those folks that, sometimes you have those fighters that are, how can I say this, more choosy about who their opponent is, or they want
picking.
to know that. Diesel's one that sometimes we got to rein him in a little bit and say, no, we'll get to that one, or we'll get to another one, because he never wants to back down. On the contrary, he always wants to move forward. So it's he's not afraid of the competition.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. That's what the fans want to see. I think that another local fighter, that Aaron Aponte, took a big risk in his last fight. And the fans enjoyed it. They said, "Look, this guy's, he's taking risks, he's taking challenges, he's moving up." I think that's what the fans want to see.
Yeah, not to interrupt you, but it's funny because I was sitting with Gilberto Mendoza, the president of the WBA, because he and I were about to do an interview announcing that the WBA convention is coming to Orlando in December. So I was, and right before Diesel's bout was on, and so he and I are together on, getting ready for the interview, and he goes, "Who is that guy?" Because Diesel was coming at his opponent, all guns, probably a little bit too much, but he was coming at his opponent big time. And Gilberto goes, "Who is that?" And I go, "No, he's one of our fighters, local guy." He goes, "Oh man, Orlando's doing well." And then he asked me, "Is he going to be on our show? When we do our show here?" I go, "Hey, he can be." So definitely, he's definitely a great TV fighter. Definitely gives the fans what they want. And he and Herman have been working on the pace of the fight, reading the fight, and they got a great game plan together.
Yeah, well, that's great, man. That's a huge endorsement from someone like that.
Yep, it's exciting. It was cool.
Yeah. Okay, Mike is here. Mike Feinberg, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
What's up, Mike?
Everything's awesome.
We're doing good.
Eric. I mean, I try to get in this thing. I kept trying and trying. 19th time's a charm, I guess they say. So it finally worked itself out. So I missed most of what you guys were talking about, obviously. But I know Amori, I was kind of coming in and out. You were telling a little bit of a story, heard the end part here with Gilberto Mendoza. But what's been going on with you guys? How you doing?
No, listen, we've been doing great. We've got this card that we've got, like I said, we've got probably, it's like a 50-50 card of the top local fighters that are part of Boxlab Promotions, and there's another couple that are a couple of promotional partners have on the card, and then we've got some of our international and guys on, like Armando Rezendiz, who recently fought on PBC, and he'll be back on PBC pretty quickly, assuming everything goes well. He's 12-1, taking on a 20-1 that's coming in from Venezuela. So, we got Kevin Brown, the Cuban, a lot of hype around our Cuban Kevin Brown, and there he is. Kevin Brown just got on. So, Kevin, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, todo bien, gracias a Dios. Aquí
so Kevin Alpha Brown just joined us. And like I say, he's, we're extremely excited about him as well and what's coming up for him. And, he's going to be fighting for a belt now in his second professional fight after all those, almost 400 amateur fights and 3 gold medals. So, we're looking forward to seeing him in the ring again, showcase his talent. I'm going to do a little bit of translating, if you don't mind. Kevin, ¿cómo está todo en La Vega? ¿Cómo está ahora el entrenamiento?
Bien, ahora mismo.
Oh, we lost Kevin.
But yeah, ahora mismo aquí.
Dime qué estás haciendo.
Estoy entrenando ahora mismo aquí, escuchándolo aquí.
Oh, he's in the gym right now. He said, listen, he's in Las Vegas. He's in the gym right now. So another one of our fighters, Ariel Perez de la Torre, who's 8-1, another Cuban is there with him, along with another couple guys that'll be making their debut shortly. What would you like me to ask him, Matt or Mike?
Okay. Well, how about first of all, how does he like his move to the United States and fighting in America? What does that mean to him and to his family back home in Cuba?
Great question. Oye, Kevin, ¿qué te parece la movida esta que hiciste en los Estados Unidos? ¿Y qué te parece estar peleando y entrenando en los Estados Unidos? ¿Y cómo te parece todo eso?
Bueno, para mí es un orgullo estar aquí en este país. Primeramente yo le tengo que dar gracias a Dios por darme la posibilidad de cumplir mi sueño en este gran país donde quiero hacer grandes historias en mi sueño en el boxeo.
He's really proud to be in the U.S. He's really embraced it, and this is where he wants to make his dreams come true. And he knew he had to make a change. It wasn't easy leaving the family behind, but he knew that to fulfill his dreams, he had to make a change. So that's why he's here.
Okay, and he's fighting at is it lightweight or?
He's fighting at the super lightweight, 140 pounds.
Super lightweight. So, who do you like in the super lightweight division? Who can you see yourself fighting in the future?
En la división tuya, Kevin, ¿con quién te ves peleando en el futuro? ¿Con quién te ves peleando en las 140 libras? ¿Con quién te gustaría pelear?
Bueno, mientras yo estoy en esta división, porque futuramente queremos cambiarla, ya cuando ya tengamos un poco más de pelea y experiencia en el profesional, me veo peleando en general con los mejores de la división.
Yeah, eventually, we're going to be in this division for a while before we probably take a step up. But as we gain some more experience. But in the meantime, whoever at 124, we're open to any opposition at 124. Our plans for him now are, he gets this win. Let's assume it all goes well, God willing. He gets this win and gets his belt, and then he'll be in one of the fights in December. We're going to be hosting the WBA KO for Drug Show. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Kevin will be in there for either a larger title or one of the title eliminator fights.
Okay, it sounds good. And how can your fans follow you on social media?
¿Cómo los fanáticos tuyos te pueden seguir en las redes sociales?
Bueno, en Instagram pueden seguirme por Kevin Hayler, en Facebook igual, Kevin Alpha Brown, y así, en esas dos redes sociales pueden seguirme con esos nombres.
Yeah, Facebook is Kevin Hayler, Hayler Brown, and then on Instagram it's Kevin Hayler as well. I'm gonna ask him how he's looking at the fight, what he thinks of his opponent, and all this. Kevin, ¿qué te parece el oponente? ¿Ha mirado a Adriano Ramírez, a 2-4, con 7 knockouts, ha ganado sus últimas 2 peleas? ¿Qué piensa de la estrategia?
Bueno, la estrategia es en general salir a buscar mi victoria. No he tenido mucho tiempo para mirarlo. Lo mío es subir al ring y hacer lo que tengo que hacer para ganar mi pelea.
Yeah, so he's going to go out there and just he's going to do what he needs to do to win. They've looked at the opponent a little bit, but the reality is go out there, feel him out, and then do what you got to do to get the victory.
And I'll jump in. I know Matt just went, but I kind of want to get an idea of how he feels the training regimen he's here in the gyms that he's been in the U.S. versus what he's used to doing at Cuba.
¿Cuál es la diferencia en este momento? ¿Cómo te sientes en el gimnasio? ¿Cuál es la diferencia ahora en el gimnasio cuando estabas entrenando en Cuba?
Bueno, aquí me siento muy bien porque también es otro sistema de entrenamiento. La palabra, como yo digo, la palabra es la misma, es boxeo, pero los entrenamientos y las peleas son diferentes porque hay más asaltos. En Cuba se trabajaba a 3 asaltos, aquí se trabaja a 12 asaltos, entonces el tiempo de entrenamiento es mucho más largo. O sea, también el sistema de entrenamiento es diferente porque se trabaja mucho más al cuerpo para lastimar más al oponente y mucha serie de cosas diferentes al amateur.
Yeah, he says that, it's a great point. It's really a different type of training because boxing's boxing. But, when they were in Cuba, they were really training, for 3 rounds. And they were really going for 3 rounds. And here, because, of course, we work at 12 rounds, it's a more intense type of training that can take you for a longer period of time. So, obviously the fights are longer. So you got to train for that. More training to work towards the body, to start breaking down an opponent over time. And just a different strategy. Previously you're in the international competition. You got 3 rounds to work with. Now you got 10, 12 rounds to work with. So again, the conditioning needs to be different, which they work on. The strategy needs to be different. Like he said, more body work, more, you gotta break down the opponent over time. It's not just a race over 3 rounds.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a great
So
question.
obviously, in his first fight, he fought a journeyman. Now he's fighting for a secondary belt. He's obviously stepping up. Even for his second fight, how quickly is he looking to step up? Where does he think? I'm going to look at him. It's obviously he's got some work to do. But how does he expect to go through it before he starts fighting for a major title?
Yeah, his first fight, I don't think you're on yet. His first fight, he fought a former world champion. That's 34-11 right now. So typically that doesn't happen. But let me ask you, en la primera pelea, peleaste con el veterano que fue un campeón mundial, que estaba 34-11. Ahora estás peleando con uno más joven, que está 2-4. ¿Cómo tú ves la competencia subiendo? Si todo sale bien, ganamos aquí, que Dios quiere que ganamos, vamos a ganar. ¿Cómo tú ves la competencia ahora yendo para adelante después de esta?
Bueno, ya un paso más, un escalón más que se da y también todo también puede ser posible con el equipo de trabajo mío, que gracias a ellos he podido avanzar y debutar a 8 saltos, que eso nadie lo hace, o muy pocas personas lo han hecho en el boxeo profesional, peleando a 8 saltos en televisión. Y ya al ganar esta pelea, un escalón más. Cada pelea que yo gane o me enfrente, un escalón más. Es un nivel más y un nivel más hasta lograr lo que se quiere, que es tener los títulos de varias asociaciones, ser campeón mundial y ser una personalidad tanto en el boxeo como persona.
He says that he's very thankful that really not too many people get a chance to debut at 8 rounds on national TV. So he wants to thank his team for being able. By the way, you're welcome for being able to put him on national TV to make his debut at 8 rounds. Now we're taking the next step up to 10 rounds. Not many people in their second fight are doing 10 rounds. So after this, it's just to continue to grow. I mean, continue to increase the level of opposition, continue to grow, and the right opportunity will be there at the right time. So it's just again, every fight should be a level up in competition. He's looking forward to it because he can show everybody what he has. Along with that, he wants to make sure that not only does he become somebody that people can look up to in the sport of boxing, but just as importantly, somebody can look up to him as a person and as a human being. So equally as important.
Well, good. We definitely wish you luck.
Kevin, buena suerte. Todos te desean buena suerte el día 15. Yo te veré ahí en Las Vegas el viernes, te voy a ver ahí. Y gracias por estar con nosotros hoy.
Muchas gracias por la oportunidad de estar en esta entrevista y muchas bendiciones para todos.
Thank you. Yeah. Blessings for everybody, and thank you for allowing him to be on the interview. Gracias, Kevin.
Gracias, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
Keep working. Keep working.
We'll see you on the 15th.
Yeah. Like I say, we're very blessed. We consider ourselves very fortunate. Our partners at Warriors Boxing and ourselves. I think we got a great thing going. Diesel's going to be part of that team. Diesel's part of that team as well, as is Kevin, as is Jose Rezendiz, as is Damian Lascalle, who's training. By the way, we've got another Cuban making his debut that was also on the national team. There's different levels to the national team in Cuba. There's a lot of people on the national team, but the ones that go out and get sent out to the international competition, those are the elite. And we're very fortunate to have those elite that have gone to multiple international competitions all over the world. So Damian Lascalle, he's in San Diego training with a well-known trainer that you all know, Joe Dusu. So Joe's really high on Damian. He's also making his debut at 6 rounds on that card. So we're looking forward to getting him going. And Ariel Perez de la Torre, he took a tough loss. It was a close loss. So he's 8-1-1 right now. He's going to bounce back against the 9-5, and he's ready to go as well. So we've got, like I say, we've got a little bit of United Nations going here with some of our crew.
Okay, it sounds good. Sounds good. Derrick, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, or tell the fans how they can follow you?
I have my Instagram, which is Diesel, DIE, the number 5, EL, and then 0. And that's about it. I just have my Instagram. And,
it's on the streaming, which is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say something to you guys too. Steve, Matt, Mike, you all do a great job. So, what you all do for boxing, and especially in the state of Florida, I know all over the U.S., but especially in the state of Florida, we're all very appreciative of that, because it's great the exposure, not just boxing, but I know you do it for the other combat sports as well. It's great to have somebody dedicated like you all are to getting the exposure for the fighters and for all these guys that are putting their heart and soul out there throughout the state. So thank you for doing
Thank you. I still can remember meeting Eric. He kept staring at me. I was walking around with my camera, and I'm like, are you working here? He's like, yeah, I'm working. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm working. It's confidential. I'm like, no, but what are you doing? And he's like, I'm working. Don't worry. Yeah, so I used to see Eric at a lot of the fights, and it just mutually would see him, and then he introduced me to Amori. So, we've known you guys for a while, and we appreciate you guys. And I love your hotel and your events over there. I just wish you were closer to West Palm Beach where we are.
2 hours, man. You can make it 2 hours.
Man, it's an hour 45-minute drive.
Think about a commute. If you're going to commute from Miami to West Palm Beach in traffic. We're also looking forward. One thing I want to mention is, we're looking forward to welcoming the World Boxing Association to Orlando into the Caribe Royale Resort in December. We were honored to have them select us as the location for their 100th convention. So the WBA turns 100. It's the oldest sanctioned body in boxing.
Wow.
They'll be holding their convention here in Orlando starting December 11th through the 14th. So we're looking forward to having participants from around the world coming in. And as part of that, they're going to do their KO for Drug show for the first time ever in the United States. So that's very exciting. So if you're familiar with that show, it helps their charity arm, and it acts as a fundraiser. So promoters from all over the world send their fighters in, and almost all the fights are either for regional belts or for title eliminators or what have you. So we're very happy and proud to be working with them, and Boxlab being the promoter for the KO for Drug show. And we're just starting to formulate everything with the crew from the WBA. But we're very excited about welcoming them to Orlando in December. I think it'll be great for the Central Florida area, and having that card in the U.S. for the first time, I think is going to be really great as well for the fans.
Yeah, it's a show and an expo.
Yeah, it's their annual convention. So there's the business side of it, and the business side of it starts on Monday the 12th. And go through the 14th, and there's a whole convention, there's a whole agenda. They're going to do some special things for the fans as an expo, but it's a true convention where they conduct business and they discuss the business of boxing as it pertains to them, and the rankings and everything that they have planned for the future. But then the show is going to happen on Sunday, the first day of the convention. We're going to have the KO for Drug show on that Sunday the 11th as they kick off to the convention. So it's pretty cool, very exciting. Great to have it in Central Florida. Great to have it in Florida and the U.S. in general. So we're looking forward to that as well.
So we got two great events coming to you.
Yep. You have two excuses. Yeah, two great excuses. Somehow I don't think you'll be the only ones with some excuses to come.
Yeah, I mean, the WBA convention, just being in America on their 100th anniversary is huge.
Yeah, it's we were glad that they selected us. We worked with President Gilberto Mendoza, Julio Time, and the rest of their team, and it's great. We announced it a couple months ago, and now we're just starting to they're working on their agenda, their business agenda, and then we're working with their team on putting the card together. So there'll be more news about it shortly. It might even be as soon as the 15th when we do this card. But it's been worked on, and it'll be a great show. And again, we're very, very happy it's the first time in the U.S.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. We're looking forward to that for sure.
We like all the work. Listen, there's a lot of promoters working in Florida. Everybody's doing a great job. It's really become a hotbed for combat sports, whether it be Dave Feldman and his crew at Bare Knuckle or some of the other boxing promoters. The good news is a lot of activity in Florida. It's really become a hotbed of activity. And, so we just want to be a part of that and make sure that, we can do, we do our part in Central Florida and make sure we give the fans what they want to see, give opportunities to the best local talent from the state, and also keep driving some of our international fighters, and it'll work out great.
Absolutely. All right, closing thoughts, fellas. Any last words?
Listen, come out and see all the talent that's on display on the 15th. As I said before, you're going to see a lot of these guys, including the young man on there, Derrick Diesel Jackson, put on a hell of a show. And yeah, you're going to see them. You're going to see them as they move on to bigger venues and bigger shows, and you're going to get a chance to watch them live now. And then when you see them on a Showtime, or you see them on a Fox, or you see them on a Showbox, hey, remember when we saw him live? So, take the opportunity to come and see that. Take the opportunity. When's the last time you watched a win a big belt from a WBA sanctioning body? So, or go for a belt. So, come out and see some of these folks that are really going to be the future stars of boxing. I mean, these guys are the real deal.
Exactly. Eric, any last words?
Hey, to touch on what Amari said, you're looking at the future of boxing, in Orlando, Florida. So, it'd be nice for everybody to come out and show their support because, 1-2 more fights from now, these guys are going to be fighting on much larger venues, So it'd be nice for everybody to come out, show their support. This is what the guys fight for, man. They fight for the fans, they fight for their family. So again, I think it's going to be probably the best card of the year. We have top-notch talent, and from the A side all the way to the B side, So it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, that's a good point. Our B-side fighters, by the way, 12-4, 24-11, 20-1, 4-2, 6-1, 9-5. It's a good B-side. These are good matchups. These are guys who are going out there to put on a show and do their thing. So that's what's going to make it good.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. That's what the fans want to see. They want to see good fights. They don't want to see, a whole card that has one-sided fights. And this card is definitely put together. It's definitely going to be a good show. So again, come out there if you can. If not, watch it on Fight TV. This is the future of boxing. And for me, as a journalist, I just want a chance to put the other journalists say that there's nothing going on in boxing in South Florida, which they were saying when Andrade's last fight was down in Miami. They're like, oh, nothing happens in Florida in boxing. It's just not the case anymore. It's just growing and growing and growing. There's more good fighters here. The influx of the fighters from Cuba, both on your team and also Revolta's got a new stable of fighters from Cuba that are very good. And the local guys, too, like Diesel, right, that are going to make the scene. So,
yeah, Henry, a shout out to Henry Revolta. He put on a great show I think it was last week, if I'm not mistaken. So I know he featured a lot of folks there. So congrats to him. And it's a lot of the promoters are putting on great shows, both in all types of combat sports, but especially on the boxing side that we're in. So it's great to be in the state of Florida. Our commission does a great job. Shout out to Patrick Cunningham, Tim, and his whole team, because they always do a great job of making sure things happen.
Absolutely. And those guys are working every single weekend.
Yep. Yeah. People don't realize, it's their job. I know that, and people say it's their job, but, we realize that it's time away from their families, and they do they try to do the right thing for everybody. So, congrats to them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Derrick, any last words?
I'm gonna pop up October 15th because I'm gonna do what I have to do. I'm gonna be looking forward to making fight of the night, especially with the opponent that I have. I'm looking to take some heads up.
Sounds good. Who's in the background there, Derrick?
Oh, my fiance.
Say hello for
everybody. Say congratulate him. He got engaged a couple months ago. So.
All right, great. So we're going to end the show. We'd like to thank Caribe Royale again. Book your room. Caribe Royale. They offer a lot of discounts for, like I said before, teachers, military, AAA, and Florida residents. So perfect. Book a room at CaribeRoyale.com.
Buy your ticket.
CaribeRoyale.com. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
We'll see you on the 15th.